Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to actually try to remember to speak loudly as well because my camera is kind of far away. But yeah, remember. Yeah, today I'm going to be trying to wash my face, get it all cleaned up, and yeah, I'm going to be talking to you guys as well. Today's topic is going to be about things I wish I knew like 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, I was 10. I was like 11 rather. And I know that seems pretty young, but I was thinking about this and like considering the type of world we live in today, bro, like people nowadays, everything is so fast paced. And that's why I was thinking like, if I knew these things when I was 11, I feel like I would be in a different position than I am today. Maybe not 11, but like maybe like 12, 13, 14. So yeah, I just said I'm gonna come on camera and like talk to you guys, let you know what I wish I knew 10 years ago. My life before social media, so like what life was like, and like just looking back, you know, I miss it. I actually miss like life before all this whole social media movement and like everything just being so fast paced and people trying to grow up a lot faster. And like that's kind of what I'm trying to address, and it's like, yeah guys, I'm just gonna be talking. It's gonna be a bit of a rant slash random session with you guys, but I'm also gonna be washing my face, so let's go. I'm gonna wet my face now, so just bear with me. So the first thing I'm gonna be using is my rice polish facial exfoliator. This thing, you guys, is just the best physical exfoliator ever. I've talked about it in another video before, but yeah, just thought I should shout it out again. It just poured everywhere, but it's fine. Okay, so just take a little bit and then dilute this with water. But yeah, looking back and just trying to address this whole topic, I feel like the first thing I wish I knew about 10 years ago, the first thing I wish I could tell myself is that in about 10 years from now, the world would have completely changed. Like the world would be extremely different from now. Yeah, so like I would tell myself that get ready for this ride, get ready for this journey. The world is about to change drastically, like in a very dramatic way. That's the first thing I would tell myself. The world is changing and evolving, and you're gonna have to do the same thing. Okay, so I feel like, oh dear, I feel like that's the first thing I would tell myself because, you know, at the same time, we don't really have control over how things go in life a lot of the time. I mean, some things are in our control, but then a lot of the times, things aren't in our control as well. So I feel like an important thing I would have wanted myself to know is that you're going to have to try to keep up with this fast-paced world as much as possible, and it's going to bring a lot of pressure and like stress. It's going to bring a lot of stress and pressure. So you have to be mentally ready. You have to be mentally capable to deal with that pressure and to deal with everything else that's going to come along with it, because I feel like sometimes pressure creates internal issues within us, and this kind of brings me to talk about mental health. So I feel like a lot of us that don't know how to deal with pressure from outside the world have then struggle with ourselves mentally. So things like anxiety start to creep up on us, things like social anxiety, general anxiety, or just overthinking and having to deal with that. And it's a lot, like mental health is real, you guys. For those of you that aren't fully aware, it's out there, and I'm sure lots of you know people that are dealing with it. Some of your friends that are dealing with it. And I think the best thing we can do for those people is to kind of support them in the best way possible. But yeah, I feel like I would tell myself that the world is about to change and you need to be ready and be prepared, um, and be ready for the challenges that you're going to face. Because that's the thing, when you're at that age, I feel like to an extent you're just very much protected because yeah, you're still young, but then there isn't even really a point where you get given this speech of, okay, life is about to start now, and you need these skills, you need these tools to actually have a good life, or have a successful life, or have a healthy life. You're not really told how to do specific things in a healthy way in order to actually have a good life once again. So it makes things a bit harder, if you guys kind of get what I'm trying to say. It makes things harder to deal with in actual reality, is my point. So I would tell myself the world is changing and you're going to have to do the same. You're going to have to change and evolve as the world is also evolving, okay? The next thing I would tell myself is, girl, you're going to have to leave your bubble, okay? Like, you're going to have to leave your bubble and enter into the world and adapt. Like, that's the next thing I would tell myself. You're going to eventually get older, become a bit more independent and at a certain stage, and as a result of that I'm going to have to learn how to adapt to what life brings towards me. I'm going to have to learn how to adapt to certain types of environments, certain types of people. If that brings me, if life takes me to a different place at a time I wasn't expecting, I'm going to have to learn how to deal with that, and I'm going to have to learn how to face that and deal with the challenges that might bring to me, okay? So I feel like that's something I would tell myself, because that's such an important thing to know. Like, I feel like we grow up a lot of the time and we just think for a long time, we're thinking, okay, this is where I'm always going to be, in this place, or I'm always going to have the same group of friends, or always going to live in the same place. But then eventually you start to realize, okay, things are changing. Like, my life is changing, girl. Like, your friends are changing. Maybe you're even moving to a different country. Like, or for example, when I was 13, I left Lagos. I left Nigeria to go school in the UK, and bro, like, that stuff was so hard for me. Like, I was so homesick for like 2 years or something. Like, I struggled so much with it. I don't even know why, because now I'm just like, get me out of here. But then when I was so much younger, like, no, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into in terms of like boarding school and like actually leaving my home and like where I've always called home and known home to be. And not even just going to boarding school, because you can go to boarding school in different states in Nigeria, but I was leaving the country, I was still quite young, and it was just a whole different ballgame. Like, I had to be mentally prepare myself, and that wasn't easy. It took me so long, you guys, so long. Like, every time I was going to school, I would start crying, like, bro, I was dramatic. But yeah, so that was a very like tough learning experience for me, but it was also really good because it allowed me to kind of mature, at that age, and just, or rather around that time, and just kind of see life in a different like perspective, and to just know that, yeah, this is what I have to do now. I'm going to school, so like I just have to do what I need to do. Like, this is for my education type of thing. So it's never that easy, but I had to tell myself that and talk myself into knowing that, okay, at the end of the day, this is probably going to be good for me, this is going to benefit me type of thing. So it was hard, but I still look back now and I'm like grateful, because guys, like, there was a time I was now considering moving back to I wanted to come back to like Lagos, and like I didn't want to be there anymore. Like I just hated it. Like I thought they were low-key racist. It was just so somehow. But I eventually made it through for 5 years, and I look back now and I'm like, okay, it was good, you know. I'm glad I stayed and I actually finished it through, because yeah, it just it made me feel like I could actually do something for myself, and like at that age I was able to kind of persevere. So yeah. The next thing I would tell myself is life becomes fast paced, as we can all see now. Like life becomes fast paced, and because it becomes so fast paced so quickly, it's going to get very competitive, you know, and you're going to have to keep up. That's the next thing I would tell my younger self is you're going to have to keep up with this fast paced world, and you're going to have to keep up with the competition because, bro, it is so competitive out there. Like, I don't know if you guys even understand what I mean. Just trying to survive, like, it's not that easy. And I'm even talking from someone who is still like, I'm not suffering under the bridge or anything like that, but I'm just looking at life. I'm trying to look at life from a whole different like perspective, and trying to, you know, also tell myself that okay, you know what, it's gonna be okay. You didn't tell yourself these things at the time, like you didn't know these things at the time, but you're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? So, I would tell myself that yeah, you're gonna have to keep up, and you need to be able to keep up, because if not, you will get left behind. You will get left behind, and because just to get a job out here nowadays, it's hard. It's hard. Like, you need like 10,000 degrees as for like school degrees. You need some work experience of like 5 years. You need like references from like this person and that person. Like, it's really not easy. And looking at the person next to you, most likely they will have those things, or they will have most of those things, if not all. You get. So you too need to be able to acquire those things in your own way if you're choosing to go down a path that, you know, would benefit you if you had those things. You get. So like, I mean, if you're choosing a path where those things aren't really necessary, then like I guess that's different and that's fine. But if you know you're stepping into like the corporate world, for example, where you actually need those things, then I can't lie, like it would be best if you actually got a degree or 2 degrees or 3 degrees or work experience or an internship, because it would just get you ahead a lot faster. It would get you ahead compared to your peers. So that's another thing I would tell myself is you need to be able, you're going to have to keep up with the competition. And it's not going to be easy at all. I feel like sometimes our parents try to tell us in their own like way, but then obviously we're sometimes, well, usually a lot of the time we're a bit too young to actually understand what they're saying. Let's just be honest. So this is something I would have told myself, you know. And the next thing I would tell myself is, girl, you're gonna need skills to actually keep up. Like I'm saying, okay, you need to be able to keep up. You need to be able to keep up. But you're going to need these certain skills to actually be able to keep up. Is my point. And some of those skills, life will teach you. Some of those skills you will teach yourself, type of thing. So, I would tell myself, okay, life is gonna be very fast paced when it starts, and you're going to need skills to keep up with the competition, and you're going to need skills to actually survive. Those skills could be anything ranging from being independent to being organized to being financially independent to being it could really be anything, just skills that you kind of pick up along the way in life that, would just help you, to being creative, to being smart, like really, really smart, or being very intellectual. Just skills that will take you further in life. So yeah, I would tell myself you're going to need some skills, okay? Because obviously we don't have to have every skill, but if you have like a couple, then that will be very good. You know, whether that is being creative, whether you're very creative or you're very good at like math, so you're very like logical, or you're actually very emotional and you choose to pursue a career in psychology or psychiatry or mental health doctor, anything like that. You know, if you have those skills, then you're starting off in a good place. So that's something I would tell myself. No, I'm going to need skills. And those skills could be transferable or they could be skills unique to you, which is basically what I just explained. So I would also tell myself that the next thing I need to do, something I'm going to need to do, is find my goal, find my purpose, and be happy, be peaceful, be at peace with myself, be successful. 1 second, I need to actually wash my face. I just realized I've been exfoliating for like 15 minutes. So yeah, I just washed my face. I'm now going to use a mask. I'm using this Pixie Glow Mud Mask. So yeah, I would tell myself you're going to embark on this really long, stressful, hard journey of trying to find your purpose and be happy and be content with who you are as a person, which also would translate to being at peace and to find the things that will help you be successful. And sometimes for some people that's money, for some people it's not money. I can't lie. So yeah, just trying to find your purpose, what makes you happy, and also learning to actually be content with yourself because it's really not easy. You know, sometimes you want to shoot for the stars and like be amazing at every single little thing, but then you also have to remember you're human, so you have limits sometimes, and those limits are natural. And you know, sometimes you will fail, sometimes you will lose, but like I said, you're human, and that's part of the journey. So like you're just going to have to deal with that and accept it and not beat yourself up about it, type of thing. So I feel like that's something else I would try to tell myself, because I think that's an important lesson people sometimes like don't try to incorporate, because like yeah, it's part of the journey. So like I'm all for like learning and just like accepting, and as opposed to fighting and not trying to be at peace. So that's something I'll tell myself. So yeah, I'll tell myself there'll be obstacles and like I'm gonna make mistakes because like I said, like I'm only human, so it's inevitable. Like I cannot avoid it, so I might as well just try to learn from it, or accept that there will be mistakes, because that's just how life goes. I would also tell myself that there are going to be lessons to learn, and it's kind of up to you what you choose to do with those lessons. Some people choose to not always learn from lessons, but I think most of the time we choose to learn from lessons, from life lessons. So I'll tell myself that yes, some things are going to happen that maybe you didn't expect, but then that's probably because it happened in order for it to manifest as a life lesson. So that's kind of what I would tell myself. Another thing I would tell myself is to let my light shine for as long as possible, and to live unapologetically, to live being myself and not to live for somebody else or not to live through somebody else. You get what I mean? So yeah, I'll tell myself, girl, let your light shine, be who you want to be, and be real. Like, you don't always have to use social media to glamorize our lives. Like, social media is also there to actually portray what real life looks like, which is showing the struggles, showing the things, showing the times where maybe we fail or we lose. It's not always about being perfect. I wanted to showcase something that is not even real, because guys, I don't even know why the word perfect exists. Like, not people's lives aren't perfect, and you know they use social media to try to glamorize and glorify their lives, but it's actually not that necessary, man. That's what me out to. It's not that necessary to do that all the time, 24/7. Like there are mistakes, you will make mistakes, you will fail. Like those two should also be shown to people because that's actually what real life looks like. You get like so. That's something I'll tell myself. The next thing I'll say is take advice from people, but like you can still do things your own way. So I would tell myself to be open to other people's like advice and what they may try to tell me in order to help myself. But then in the process of doing that, I would still let my own light shine. I would still let me do things the way I want to do it so that I'm actually satisfied with what I've done, so that I actually have taken full responsibility for my actions and all that stuff, because then that way you actually allow yourself to be accountable for your life and like the things you've done. You get what I mean? So that's something else I would tell myself. And I would also say, yeah, you don't have to follow every trend. You don't have to follow every trend. That's something I'm doing today anyway, so I'm actually very happy about that. I don't have to follow every trend. It's not everything I have to do. So yeah, that's just it. The next thing and the final thing I would tell myself is take deep care of yourself and be mentally prepared, because I feel like for ourselves, that's by just doing that, you're taking care and you're dealing a lot with yourself. Like you're taking care of yourself personally by just taking care of yourself. Like you're doing a lot for yourself, if that makes any sense, by just taking care of your mental health, your physical health, you know, all that stuff that we talk about now and everything. So I would say, I don't know why I'm rubbing this. It's supposed to be a mask. I'm not. It's so hard for me to multitask with guys. Like, ugh. But yeah, I would say to take care of myself and be mentally prepared for this journey, because it's not going to be an easy one, and I'm going to need support and help and advice, but I also need to learn to put myself first and to have good, healthy people around me in order to go through that journey successfully. So I'm going to let my mask dry, then I will be back to like rinse off and then moisturize, and then I'm probably going to be done. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay guys, so I just finished washing off my mask and I just put on a serum for my face because I just like how that feels. And yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, the final thing I said was, to just take care of myself. I would tell myself to really try to take care of myself, because there will be people along the way that will try to knock you down. There will be bullies, literal bullies in school. People will be mean. People will make comments about you. They'll make comments about the way you look, you know? And I'll just tell myself that you have to, be confident and be strong in yourself. And when I say strong, I mean like actually believe in yourself, because I feel like that creates strength from within. So that's something I would tell myself as my last point. So I'm just running in this serum, letting that set, and then the last thing I'm going to use is this carrot moisturizer that also has niacinamide, which is really good. So it's the last thing I'm gonna put on my face. So yeah, these are just some things I wish I knew as like a, let's say, preteen, just so that I could kind of, because I feel like it would have helped me figure things out a lot quicker and not allow me to feel maybe like I'm behind or I'm being left behind, or I'm not where I need to be. But at the end of the day, that's the thing, like I really now believe more so than ever that a lot of the time you're where you need to be, like where you are right now is where you're supposed to be, and that's just that. That's just facts. So I'm done with my skin, which means this video is coming to an end. It's practically over, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.